Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am so excited. Thank you so much for being here on our very first Tuesday, on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I am so excited because this is the first of many webinars, Google Hangouts, whatever you want to call these, that will change your life. As the founder of the Cafe D, I have seen on our Facebook pages and in our Twitter chats that we seem to be having a challenge picking ourselves up and moving forward. So my goal with all of these Tuesday webinars is to bring somebody to the table that will help you move your life forward, will give you some motivation and inspiration to be absolutely the best you can be so that you can step into a future that is bright and happy, filled with joy and happiness. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you are here to join us because I have an amazing person that is not only a dear friend, but she is an awesome rock star, author, international business coach, and life coach. And it's going to be with people like this that they help move you forward and into the life that you want to lead. So when you join us on Tuesdays, afterwards, we go to our private Facebook group where you can actually have a chat with people like Cassi. And we are going to be doing that again we have another series coming up called Divorce RX with amazing divorce specialists and experts in their field, from legal to accounting, how you manage your money, how you deal with your children in the divorce scenario. How about marriage and family counseling on communication? We've got realtors that talk about selling your assets, your most important asset, your home, and the process of getting that done. We've got everybody coming for you. So we are going to take care of you. And every time we do this, you get to come backstage with us and have a Q&A session with each of these experts. And they continually will monitor our Facebook group and answer any questions that you have. So what's important about that is that you do need to be a member of the Cafe D community. So go on www.thecafed.com and hit our members area really quickly. It's just $7 a month, and you will have access not only to these webinars, but to our private Facebook group. And we've got lots of other things that are coming your way as well. We've got an attorney that's going to be with us every month on a divorce coaching call called Confessions of a Former Divorce Attorney, from a really fabulous divorce attorney from the Boston community. We will have a support group on how to raise your children during these tumultuous years as you are in a divorce household. And we've got a support group with a therapist that will be just there for you monthly in a support scenario. So we'll be like a group support site or support group, but it'll be online. So those are the types of things that we're going to be bringing to you all by the fall of this year. So look forward to that. Every time we want you to be here with us and moving forward. So on that note, I am so excited to bring you my very, very first guest. Cassi Eubank, as I told you, is an amazing, amazing life coach. She is now an amazing author of a book that is going to rock and change the holiday Christmas season. Just wait until you hear about that. It's so amazing. But she's also, let's see, what are you? You're an NLP therapist, you're a certified hypnotist, you're a Reiki healer, you're an author, you're a speaker, and you host a show called Believe and Receive. It's on the radio. And you know firsthand from your practice, Cassi, that people face many types of fears, and that's why we're here, because you are an expert on helping people choose the life that they want to live. So Cassi Eubank, I am so excited to have you with us. Welcome to the very first Tuesday.
Vicki, I am so glad to be here. I am thrilled, and I'm thrilled that you're taking this on, because Tuesdays is exactly right. Every day, every second, we make choices, and the choices we make lead to our future. And when we understand how we make our choices and start making better choices, our life gets so much better. So I am so inspired by you bringing this to everybody, this great, great value. One place where not only can they get this great information, but they can join together. Because knowing that you're not alone, knowing that you've got a lot of people going through it, that actually helps. That's soothing. And that's the first step, is knowing you're not alone and not feeling so isolated. So I applaud you for these great efforts, both in Cafe D, with Tuesdays. You're just doing some great things, and I'm so thrilled to be here today, Vicki.
Well, thank you, my friend, and the stage is yours. So take us on your presentation because I know you have a conversation. Let me step it back a little bit because we talked about how our self-talk is so amazing, and you've got some stories that are pretty horrific, in my opinion. How this ever was allowed to happen when you're going to tell us the story about how it can start to shape the conversations that we have with ourselves. And so it's about choosing different thoughts. And so I'm going to let you take the stage and take us on our journey today.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen now then and let everybody see what I see. And let me bring this up and coming over to choosing this. Now let's choose that.
Oh, great.
And I have got to, give me just one moment here because I've got to make sure that everybody can see this. I can see the screen share in the middle.
A beautiful baby on the screen.
And we are going to go to the beginning of the slideshow instead. So one more moment.
This is live TV, folks.
It is. It is.
Technology has never been easy for me myself, so I absolutely understand exactly what you're going through. And with the patience of Job, we can get through anything, right?
Absolutely.
So believe and receive, my friend.
And that's the attitude. We can choose anything. We can choose to say, okay, this is a fantastic experience that we're going to do, that we're going to go through, or we can look at it as, something else. And when we look at it from a good standpoint, we're always going to wind up in a better position. So let me come on back here, and I think that we're ready to go ahead and start from the beginning. Let's share and slideshow from the beginning. Now, can everybody see my screen?
I can. Choose your life.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, choose your life, and that is what Tuesdays is all about, which is why I'm so thrilled to be here today. Now, first thing I want to tell you is why you want to stick around. I know your time is valuable, but this information is so much more valuable. It is going to change the way you look at things. It's going to change the way you think. It's going to change your future. Because when we learn we're going to learn why the quality of your beliefs will determine the quality of your life. So you know why it's important to make sure your belief system is strong and empowering. I want you to discover how beliefs work so that you can make them work for you. Because when we figure out, it's like when you figure out how your husband's thinking, it's a lot easier to get that relationship going because you can think in the terms that he is. So we're going to discover how our beliefs work so we can make them work for us. Be given real exercises to help you choose thoughts that are going to be empowering for you and help you throughout your life. And I'm going to reveal a secret. I call it the playground of your imagination, so that you can choose the best life possible. And then once you choose that life, how to get it.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yes, and I can tell everybody in the chat room is excited. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about me because I focus more on the message, but why you can listen to me. I did study psychology in college and all throughout my life. It's completely fascinated me, which is why I love neurolinguistics and studied that and became certified. It was really neat. Last night I was watching The Kingsman on a movie with my husband, and they taught their spies NLP or neurolinguistics, knowing that that is something very important, is knowing how people work so that you can communicate better. I am certified as a hypnosis practitioner. I'm an empath, so I can really feel the things other people are feeling, which makes it a very effective way for me to communicate and help people. Because when you can feel what they're feeling, you can come up with creative solutions because you're not going through it, but you know exactly what they need. Personal coaching And in the past, Blonde Enough was my band. I got to open for Huey Lewis and the News. I got to open for Rick Derringer, Kansas. I even got to sing lead for Survivor. They pulled me up on stage and I sang a song with them.
Get out.
I know, it was so, so cool. And we have videotaped them doing an interview for the Homegrown Music television show, which is the show that I had on Fox 29. And we'd put the cameras away, so we got all this great footage of them, but none of me singing with them. But I'll keep that memory. And I did produce the Homegrown Music TV show, so I got to hang out with people like Matchbox 20, Collective Soul. I know you enjoyed that kind of a lifestyle too, and it's a lot of fun. But Vicki, don't you get to learn how those people think, and you get to learn how the highly successful people think, and you get to learn those tips, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's how my best learning field and learning environment has not been in college. It's been with other successful people and people that live the life that I want. Mm-hmm. So those have been my best teachers.
Absolutely. And they think in a certain way. They absolutely do. And that's what sets them apart. They're no different than you and I, except for that they think in a certain way. On the radio for 2 years, on AM radio, as well as my own Believe and Receive show, which is coming around. I've written 3 books now. And personally, I love purple, in case you can't tell. Travel is my passion. Music, that just sets my soul on fire. I love writing, family, friends, and of course my wonderful dog, Rocky. But enough about me, because this webinar, this hangout, it's all about you and Tuesdays. Now, I firmly believe if you master your mind, you will master your life. This is so critical, because any phrase that you hear, so many of you, have you ever heard the phrase, life is hard? Yeah?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep, and everybody agrees. Now, how many people, and you can answer in the chat if you want to, or you can just, ask yourself this, how many people believe that?
Too many.
Exactly. And why do we believe that? It's because of our past experiences, or because people have told us. Maybe our father always said, well, life is hard. And we came to believe that because we told ourselves that. But that's not necessarily true. Not at all. Now let's look at the case of an elephant. When an elephant is a baby, they put a cuff around its ankle, and they put a stake in the ground with a chain attached to it. And when that baby elephant is little, it tries to escape, and it pulls and it tugs, and its poor flesh gets cut into. It's really kind of harsh. I don't like this practice at all. But that baby elephant tries so hard and is rewarded with pain. So this baby elephant begins to believe that for the rest of my life, I am going to be tied to this chain. I cannot get away. And it believes that because of that past experience. Now what happens is, as that elephant grows, they'll use a similar chain. Now this elephant that we're looking at, it's 10,000 pounds. It's 10 feet tall at least. It could easily pull that nail out of the ground. But it does not try, because it has this belief. And that elephant will never see anything past what that chain will allow, because it doesn't believe it can. And how many of us are like that? Whether we know it or not, sometimes unless you really believe that anything can happen, and I still am Pollyanna enough to believe it can, unless you believe that all things are possible, you are trapped by some beliefs, just as this elephant is. And unless something truly extreme happens to this elephant, like a fire, it is not going to try to get away again. It's going to stay complacent where it is, knowing its place. And too often we get complacent unless something happens, like in the case of a divorce, a death in the family, something tragic. We don't change. Our beliefs are formed because we are told something by our superiors, by people that are older than us, by people that we admire or respect, or simply because we've told ourselves that all the time. So it's a past experience or things that we're told that form our beliefs. Now, it all starts out good. We've got this one sweet voice. When we're a little baby, we don't worry about anything. We don't worry about working. We don't worry about bills, luckily. We just have this one sweet voice telling us everything is going to be okay. We just need to trust in our parents, trust in the universe, and it will all be okay. Now, as a child, we do things. A child goes to the bathroom. It wears a diaper. It goes to the bathroom, and I'm going to just say it poops in its diaper. Now, could you imagine this baby going, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. I pooped in my diaper. It doesn't have that voice yet telling them that it's doing something wrong. It just says, it's all good. Mom's going to take care of me. And in a perfect world, we've got parents that have that loving, supportive environment so that we know everything is good. And that one sweet voice, that's the voice that's connected to God. That's connected to the universe. That's the voice we're meant to listen to. However, what happens is we have other people telling us different things, and we start to question. Now, everybody, look at that cute little girl. Isn't she cute?
Adorable.
She is. Now, what would you say if I told you that this little girl at this exact age was told by the dean at her school that she was nothing more than a common harlot?
That's unbelievable.
That's right. I know. I'm seeing the reactions in the chat room. That's right. She was told that she was nothing more, and this was me at 8. Now, keep in mind, I'm not here to talk religion, but I did go to a Baptist school, and they taught me that as a good little girl, I'm supposed to go out saving souls for Jesus. So I did. I wanted to be that good little girl. I ran around to my neighborhood. Vicki, everybody listening, I went door to door knocking on the door saying, Mrs. Flores, did you know that the only way to get into the kingdom of God is by accepting Jesus into your heart? And I love you so much. Let's get down on our knees so that you can be in heaven and we can play there forever and we can all be. And I did. I mean, I was that little girl that people would go, what is wrong with her? Nobody's this bubbly. And I did. I went door to door. So when I was called into the dean's office, I went there skipping and with a song in my heart, a smile on my face. I was so excited. I never, ever thought I would be recognized for all these good deeds, but surely he had heard about this and he was going to recognize me. So when I walked in and I saw the scowl on his face, I'm like, okay, well, hi. And he looks down at me and he said, young lady, who do you think you are? And I knew that what was about to follow was not what I had been expecting. I know, I'm looking at the chat and he looks down and he says, look at your skirt. It's 2 inches above your knee. You are nothing more than a common harlot. Is that what you want, to entice men and make men think that you're nothing more than that? You should be ashamed of yourself, young lady. You need to think on what kind of a person you want to be. And I was dismissed. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what a harlot was, but I could tell by his red face and his pointing finger looking down at me, yelling at me, and the red face and that vein popping out in his temple. I could tell that whatever a harlot was, it wasn't good. So I went home after school that day, feeling ashamed, and I didn't know why. And I looked it up, only to find out that I was a prostitute. Now, I had kissed a boy at 8, but I had no idea of anything behind kissing a boy. And this is what the dean told me, that I was nothing more than a common harlot. Now, I couldn't tell my mom. I could not tell her because my mom loved me unconditionally. And if I told her, maybe she'd find something wrong with me. And I've got to tell you, this followed me. When I talked with you about this, Vicki, you asked me how this manifested throughout my life. And whenever I would have friends and they would be mean to me, I would just assume they figured out what was wrong with me. There was something inherently wrong and bad, and I tried to fix it. I tried to be nice. I tried to be overly considerate. So I became an over-pleaser because I needed people to like me, because when they found out what was wrong with me, I was just hoping they would overlook it and forgive it, whatever it was. Now, again, I'm going to ask you, does this look like a prostitute?
No.
No, certainly not. oh my gosh, I was years away from knowing what sex even was.
And
And I'm glad everybody in the chat room seems very shocked because it is shocking, but at the time I did not know it was shocking. I just felt shame. That's all.
that's what, Cassie, we talk about what people believe, even though it's false. We believe this stuff. So I'm glad that you use this as an absolute example of how we can believe crap, take it into our being, into our soul as true, and that's the stuff we need to change.
Exactly. And while I realized that I wasn't a prostitute, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I was tainted in some way. And whenever I would have, somebody would stop being nice to me, I would just assume they found out what was wrong with me. So that's where this other voice comes from. But this voice is not true. A belief is created because we tell ourselves something over and over again. If somebody says to me, well, you're just stupid, and I tell myself they might be right, well, what if I am? And I keep repeating that, pretty soon I'm going to start acting stupid, I'm going to not try, and I will be dumbing down. And I will become what my belief system is. But that belief may not be true. If I didn't believe that and I went and took a Mensa test, I might score out, so high. But my beliefs can become truth if I allow them to. So again, we've got to be careful about what we believe, lest they become our truths. So why wouldn't we believe, yeah, I am, and take that best belief? But knowing where that second voice comes from, now we have these two voices in our head. We've got that voice of doubt that people have put there. And sometimes it's for a good reason. Now, perhaps that dean really believed that that was the path going to hell. And he did come from a good place. And I'd like to believe that, because the opposite side of that is that he was just a man with dirty thoughts in his head projecting them on me. Either way, that should not be my problem. That's his voice. And that's why confidence is so important. And we can only be confident when we listen to that voice that says, yeah, you can do it. That one sweet voice that we start off with, that voice that's connected with God. God wants us to do well. The universe wants us to exceed and be abundant and happy and successful and shine our light as an example for others. That's the voice that we're intended to listen to. And every step, I got to tell you, if you look at it this way, every time you listen to that sweet voice, you're stepping closer to happiness. And every time you listen to that voice that maybe somebody else was feeling bad, they were in a bad mood. One example is in my book, Diary of an Ugly Sweater. The sweater, it's written from the perspective of a sweater, and she observes lots of things in human behavior. And one of the things she observes is a young girl in a wheelchair. A man is walking past her, and he bumps into her and accidentally hits her leg. But the girl calls out, and it startles him, and he yells at the girl. It's his defense mechanism. He yells at the girl, and he tells the mother, you need to watch out for your girl a little better, and yells at the mom. And the mom just turns around and says, I am so sorry. We will be more mindful in the future. And the man, the wind's taken out of his sails. What can he say? She didn't fight with him. She just said, I'll be more careful. And the man walks away, and the little girl wants to know, why, Mom? I didn't do anything. We shouldn't have to be careful. He was mean to me. Why did you apologize to him? And the mother said, well, let's look at it this way. You're feeling bad because you're thinking about his negative things, all the things he said to you. But let's look at it this way. Let's reach out in compassion. Maybe he's in a bad way. Maybe he just got bad news. Maybe he found out he's sick. Maybe he's lost somebody. Now, when you think about it with compassion, you're not going to take it personally, are you? You realize it's his problem. And the little girl, she got it. But a lot of times it's just the junk that other people are going through, especially when you're going through a breakup. The other person gets mean because they're feeling like they're a failure because this is falling apart or it's not working. Or maybe they've exhibited poor behavior And to deflect from themselves, they're trying to put it on you. But the things they say to us are not true. And those are things that we just can't listen to. Know where the source is. And listen to that sweet voice that's gonna move you forward. Because every step that we take, every thought that we make, it's gonna take us closer to our goals and happiness, or it's gonna take us further away. Do we choose to think about something negative or positive? So it's so critical to choose your thoughts carefully. Of all the skills that you work to improve, thought management is the most important skill you can possess. And even though this is something I believe firmly, I put this in there as a slide because I'm sharing the slides with everybody, and I want you to really, really let this sink in. When you can constantly say, okay, we've had a technical glitch, but you know what, that's okay, because we're going to wind up working out all of the glitches that could come up in the future, and we're going to prevent a lot more from happening. And always look at that as a positive. No matter what, there's always a positive in there. And sometimes if we can't see it, that's where faith comes in. We just have to have faith that whatever is happening is for our highest good, and stay away from the fear, because fear, when you have total faith, fear doesn't exist. And whenever I feel fear creeping in about something, I just have to reach out to my higher power, to the universe. For me, it's God. And I reach out and just say, God, I've got to give this to you, and just have total faith that this is the right thing. And then that fear can go away, and I can focus on the positive again. Now, it is not your fault. And I put that up there, why they got to be so mean. It truly is because other people are going through issues. And the best way to deal with that is when people are mean to us, their negative energy gets in our space. And unless we have a very strong self-esteem, when we do have that strong self-esteem and we're confident in ourselves, we can say, hey, this is not our fault, and not let their negative energy bring our positive energy down, and we can stay in a positive space. And by reaching out with compassion, as I brought up in my previous example in the book, Diary of an Ugly Sweater, how the mother said we've just got to be compassionate. When we reach out in compassion, then we can see it from an outside view. It is their problem. There's something going on with them, and that keeps us, it helps us from taking it personally. And when we don't take it personally, then we don't allow that thought to enter into our thought process and become a new belief. Again, keeping those beliefs strong. So that's all good, but Vicki, I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of ways that people can get to a happier thought.
Perfect.
Now, there was one video YouTube, and I think I'm going to try to find it and share it in the group because it's so powerful. Tony Robbins does this exercise. Now, holding a happy thought is just the first place. Now, if you can pick out a thought where maybe it's the birth of a child, maybe it was their graduation, maybe just a day on a boat where everything was just absolutely perfect, and take that thought, hold that thought, bring it into your heart. Feel how it felt. Was the sun shining down? Did you hear any birds in the background? Was there a breeze against your skin? Bring that thought in. Imagine that thought. Hold that thought. Bring it into your heart. Just live that gratitude. Live that feeling. Live that emotion in your heart. And hold it for as long as you can. And I almost hate to break up because if you're holding that thought, it just really, really feels good. But take that thought, and let's say you can hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. The next day, try 30. But every day, try holding in a happy, happy thought. And Tony Robbins does this. He calls it the emotional flood, where you bring one thought in, and it really brings that gratitude. And if you're ever down, it's just such a great way to get in that place of gratitude. And I love that exercise, so I will share it. But every day, practice holding that happy thought and holding it longer and longer to where you can just go, okay, not feeling good, let me go to that happy place. And you know where that happy thought is, and you can bring that up and pull your energy out of that negative vibration that it's in. And holding a single thought or a still thought, whether it's a rose or just holding your mind in a place of stillness. Our mind goes even when we sleep, and it really does need a break. Meditation, I highly recommend meditation, and I've had lots of people say, well, I can't meditate, I don't know how to do it, I just wind up, my thoughts go everywhere. That's going to happen. It doesn't mean you're not meditating. And for those people, I suggest a guided meditation where instead of trying to focus on just stillness of mind, which does take a while, you're following a voice. You're following it to someplace nice, a beach, or you're following it to a forest or someplace serene, and then you're going down into a deep place of relaxation. So find a guided meditation, which Vicki is going to be offering for all of you. I've got a chakra clearing meditation that we are giving to you guys. So Vicki will give you all the information on how you can get that and what groups you're going to be in to get that. And then here's a quick trip just to get out of a bad mood. If you really want to. Now, there are people who start it and they won't go through with it and they realize, I just want to be in a bad mood. But if you're feeling down, maybe somebody said something to you, you're just not in a good way, go into a bathroom, shut the door, look at the mirror, and smile. And put on the biggest smile. And at first you're going to be saying to yourself, this is stupid, I don't want to do this, and then pretty soon, 10, 15 seconds in, by the time you're at about 20, 30 seconds, it's going to be a genuine smile. Unless you give up, you will be in a better mood. So these are some good ways to put yourself in a better place, in a happier thought, and always ask yourself, is this thought bringing me closer to my goals? Am I upset about something that's not working, or am I looking for possibilities of ways to work? So I'm going to give you one of my best tips. Choose your thoughts, choose your life, and make every day Tuesday. And once you are doing that, I've got something I call the playground of your imagination. And once you get rid of those limiting beliefs where you say, you know what, anything is possible, just sit down on the sofa, relax. You can put some music on if you want to, or just silence, whatever works for you. But just slowly relax, and then imagine stepping into a playground. And imagine in this playground of your imagination seeing different versions of yourself. Maybe you see yourself as an artist. Maybe you're drawn to yourself writing, an author. Maybe you see yourself as a talk show host. Whatever draws your attention, a pilot, maybe you want to travel the world, whatever draws your attention, step in, see all those versions of yourself, and step into the painter. Notice how the brush feels. Notice how you feel when you finish your work. Notice your work up on a gallery. Take a little time in each of those different things that call to you and see which one feels best. And there will be one that feels best. And connect with that passion. Because when you're connected with your passion, it's going to be easy to breathe life into your goals. So, is everybody with me so far? I just want to check in with you over there on the chat room.
Absolutely. This has been great. You know, you and I actually said something a long time ago, which was an Albert Einstein quote. Even a goldfish. How does that go?
It says, if you judge a goldfish by how well he climbs a tree, or if you judge a fish by how well he climbs a tree, you would consider him a failure.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the lesson there is, if you're doing something, right now you might be doing something, perhaps you're working at a bakery going, yeah, this is great. I love the Publix bakery. It's good. It's not my dream job, but it's okay. Maybe your passion is really to open a bakery, but you didn't believe you can. Get rid of those beliefs. Homemade cupcakes with your special spin. I mean, let's look at the case of the woman who wanted to open the bakery, but she didn't believe she can because she had all these limiting beliefs. Once, you know, she thought, well, I won't be able to find financing. I don't know how to do books. I've never done it. There are so many. Once she opened up to the possibilities, you know what, maybe I can, and started talking about it, her friend said, look, I'm an accountant. I'll help you set up your books. You know, you've done lots of stuff for me. Let me do that for free. And somebody else said, you know what, I've got a friend that can help you with a small business loan. And let me help you with a marketing plan. Once you open up to the possibilities are endless. But sometimes we don't connect with our true passion because we don't believe. We don't dare dream that we could have it because we don't want to dream and then not have it. But it's only by dreaming it that we really can. And it's only by believing anything is possible that we can connect with our true passion And that's when we're going to make that climb. That's why so many people, they're in businesses, well, I think I can make a go of this, and they never really reach that plateau because it's not something that they're tied passionately to. And yeah, I can see people responding to that. So you can see how important the first thing we have to do, and I do want to give you a little bit of follow-up, but the first thing we have to do is we have to control our thoughts. We have to master our mind and choose those thoughts that are going to let us connect with our passion and really live a successful life. Because then, whether you're making 100,000 or 1,000,000, you're going to be loving your life so much. You're going to be a success, and people are attracted to that. And that's what propels people to pass that tipping point that Vicki and I were talking about the other day. That point where, going from, yeah, I'm doing pretty good to, this is just so easy. It's coming effortlessly now. And that's why the playground of your imagination will help you get clear on exactly what you want. Because when you know what you want and why you want it, when your why is sparked with a passion, you're so passionate, I want to do this. And sometimes it's, I want to travel for a charity benefit reason. Sometimes it's just, I want to travel so I can leave a legacy to my kids. Sometimes it's just, this message is so important. I never want anybody else to go without self-confidence. I don't want anybody else to believe the crap that they're told. If somebody tells them at 8 that they're a prostitute, if somebody tells them when they're going through divorce that you're a loser, you'll never find anybody else. I don't want people believing that crap, because it is so not true, and it is so debilitating. It emotionally cripples us. We would never let somebody beat somebody else. If we saw somebody getting hit in the middle of the street, we would go and stop that. I don't want anybody else emotionally scarred, because sometimes those emotional wounds don't heal. The physical ones do, but the emotional ones don't.
Cassi, one of the things that I've always said is that if we let somebody else speak to our children the way we speak to ourselves, we would kick them out of our homes immediately, and we would probably hurt them in the process. But yet we allow ourselves to do that to ourselves. So we're about to wrap this up because we need to get back to our Facebook group. Why don't you, I'm going to let you finish this up, and then we're going to talk about that special meditation that our members can receive.
Absolutely. So just a few more steps. And again, I'm glad to talk with anybody about getting into each of these steps. But once you get clear on what you want and why you want it, you do need to set up a plan. Because when we fail to plan, we are planning to fail. So I'm not saying that that plan is going to be your total path, because we set up our path, we set up our plans, and then God directs us where He wants us to be. But we need to start with a plan. And celebrate your successes. Set up little goals along the way. We don't want to have the big goal being the end picture. We want little steps along the way, and celebrate those successes, because that's what's going to keep you motivated. Celebrating each, setting little goals, and when you reach those goals, like in weight loss, never go for 50 pounds. Go for 5. When you get done those 5, celebrate, do it again. After another 5, celebrate, and pretty soon you're like, 5 is easy, and it's nothing to continue on that path. But do celebrate your successes. And being consistent. Consistency is what makes it happen. You never know what one contact, what one person is going to take you over the edge. So making it happen day in and out, and that is what the key to success is when you're doing anything. So I do have a free meditation download for Cafe D people, and Vicki, you can tell your tribe how they can get that. If you visit my website, I've got another I Am Success download that you can get there for free. And just real quick about my book, Diary of an Ugly Sweater. It's just a light, fun tale about Sophie, and she dialogues every day. She journals in her diary, talking about her life and all these challenges that she goes through. But all of these lessons are lessons that you can relate to, that all of us can relate to. How to deal with insecurity, strategies for being happy, teamwork, relationships, and how to get the most out of them, being self-confident, and how to love yourself. So it's a fun tale for any time, for all ages, and I invite you to delight yourself with Sophie's story and have a really great read while learning some valuable life lessons. It is available on Amazon, Kindle, and Barnes & Noble. And this is where you can reach out to me. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Vicki and say, Vicki, thank you so, so much for allowing me to share this important information with all of your wonderful, wonderful people.
Well, you now see why I chose Cassi as our intro, because nobody believes in the power of positive thought and the power of choosing what we allow to come into our brain, right? We have the opportunity to change the way we speak to ourselves starting today. It is our choice. Today is today. Today is the day that you choose what you allow to happen on the inside of your head. So stop right now. Stop the conversations, your conversations that is just the most ridiculous example of something that could have kept Cassi into a state of total self-hate and low self-esteem. So what have people said to you in your life that have become your belief system, that looking outside of that has made you see, wow, that was a really stupid thing. That was a really bad choice for me to believe that. So I'm going to ask you today to choose a different dialogue with yourself. Come on with us next Tuesdays. We bring some amazing speakers, a lot of ways for you to just get past your past so that you can choose a better and brighter future. So we've got we're going to go over to our Facebook private group, and you can get there and join us by going to www.thecafed.com and click on our members area. You can sign up. It's just $7 a month, and you can go back there right now, and you can talk to Cassi. You'll be able to speak to lawyers, accountants, life coaches, business coaches, motivational speakers, international authors, and coaches. They're all there waiting for you. So come on and join us. And thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, Cassi. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. Thank you so much for being with us. You rocked the house. You rock star. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see you over in the Facebook group. Have a great day. Bye.
Join us over at the Facebook group. Bye, everyone.